Hi, I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and this is a quick vlogging test with the Panasonic Lumix LX100 II. Now, like all compact cameras, there's a lot of pros and cons to weigh up. It's not an ideal camera for vlogging, but there's some good points that I'll point out along with the bad ones. Okay, so the first bad one is that there is no flip out screen on this camera, so there is no way of seeing how I look. Am I in focus? Is there some ketchup on my face or anything like that? I've got absolutely no idea whether the people I've just walked past are pulling faces at me. Hopefully they are, for comedy value. So that's the first mark down for this camera. And remember, it's up against models like Sony's RX100 Mark V and Canon's PowerShot G1X Mark III, both of which have fully articulated screens that will face you. Now, I'm filming this in 4K UHD at 25p. You can film 4K at 24, 25 or 30p. And impressively, for a camera of its size, the clip length is 15 minutes. And I managed just over 6 of those on a single charge, so almost 100 minutes worth of video, and it didn't overheat at all. Now compare that to the Sony RX100 Mark V, which can only film 5 minutes of 4K at a time. And if you do about 3 of them in a row, well, I find that they generally overheat the camera. You've got to wait for it to cool down. So, some plus points there for the LX100 Mark II, but it's not all one-sided. On the downside, this lens does not have a built-in neutral density filter, and that means that I'm filming this at too fast a shutter speed for smooth motion. I'm actually filming at about 200th of a second with the lens open to f1.7. Compare that to the Sony RX100 Mark V, which does have a built-in ND filter, and the Sony and the Canon G1X Mark III also have the benefit of phase detect autofocus, which means that their focusing is much more confident, especially when you move around the frame or you reposition the camera. Say if you're doing some sort of product tour demonstration, those cameras are better suited than the contrast-based system on the Panasonic. I should also say that the Panasonic applies about a 1.25 times crop when you're filming 4K. There's no crop when you're filming 1080, and you can do half-hour clips as well. Now, the crop is actually more severe than the 1.1 times crop you get on the Sony, so even though the Panasonic has a slightly larger sensor, you do lose some of that benefit, at least when you're filming 4K. In terms of color profiles, this is straight out camera using the natural photo style. The LX100 Mark II does have Panasonic's latest black and white photo styles, but it doesn't have Cinelike D or V. So this is almost as flat as it's going to get. Models like the Sony have their S-Log profiles if you really prefer to grade. So I think vloggers are not going to be really troubled by this camera. I mean, the lens is really nice, especially when you're focusing really close. The rendering is really nice for macro stuff. But if you're filming pieces to camera, there are better products out there at around the same price point, particularly the Sony RX100 Mark V. That would be my choice for vlogging at this price point. As always, if you found this useful, head on over to cameralabs.com, where you can find loads more sample videos, sample images, and my full review of this camera. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.